Welcome back to Southeast Radio's Business Matters, with thanks to Wexford Insurances. Wexford Insurances. All your insurance needs dealt with on 0818 31 30 30.
I'm joined now by Bill Kelly from Kelly's Resort Hotel in Rosslare. Good morning, Bill, and thank you for joining me.
Pleasure, Karl. Thank you for inviting me.
Bill, tell me a little bit about the history to Kelly's firstly.
Well, we've been going for quite a number of years, I think 117 years at this stage. So it started as a tea room in 1895, and then we continued developing the hotel throughout the generations. I'm the fourth generation here, and hopefully in the not too distant future we might have the fifth generation here to keep the show on the road. But we now have 120 bedrooms and 190 staff, and managed to keep them all here during these difficult times over the last few years. But it's been a challenge. But, you know, people have seen tougher times than we've seen at the moment. There's people went through the First and Second World War in Ireland. This hotel went through them both, and it were probably a lot tougher than we're going through at the moment.
What's the secret to the success of Kelly's Resort?
If I was put it to one word, I'd say the staff. I mean, I think the key here is the staff, the level of care that the staff give you. We've 1,700 man-years among the 190 staff here, so that's nearly over 8 years of service per staff member. And for me, they're critical because, you know, if they're not behind the premises, you can build a palace, but it takes the staff and the members of the staff to bring people back again and again, and that's the key to our business, is the repeat business.
How much emphasis goes into training those staff?
Well, I'd say a lot of them could train me at this stage. You know, they've been here for quite a number of years, and you know, again, there's a lot of emphasis when we've new people starting out, and I guess it's to get people to understand what the hotel is about. No is not an option. We don't like people saying no to our customer. We like people saying yes, or let me check for you. So it's very important that everybody works off the same guidelines.
So you've 190 staff here. Over the last number of years, have you made anyone redundant, or have any of those staff taken any pay decreases?
No, we did. We set out at the very beginning after 2008, when I guess every business got a little bit of a shaking. We decided that we wouldn't decrease anybody's wages. A few people who weren't coming back anyway didn't return to the hotel, so we reduced our numbers maybe from 210 down to 190, 195. So we did reduce the numbers, but it was just natural wastage rather than trying to get rid of people. The key for me was that we will give people the same wage. We will try to keep everything going as it did before, but we look for more flexibility from each of the members, which we got. We've managed to make profit over the last few years. It's probably not as good as it was in the old times, but I think it's important to make profit, and it's important to invest in the business. Even this year now, we've invested nearly €1 million in doing up the rooms, and I think it's important because all the time we can sort of look back and we can complain about the situation we're in. We've got to look forward. We can't change what's happened. We can only change the future. So if we invest in our product now, one, we're creating employment for lots of auxiliary builders, furniture makers, all which we got done locally, and we got the furniture made in Ireland. All our chairs, tables, everything made in Ireland. We got our carpets made in Ireland. So, you know, I think it was very important to support the Irish business.
I know that the hotel boasted over 90% occupancy rates for last year. How much of that business was generated from repeat business?
Yeah, we've a huge level of repeat business. I mean, last year we had to generate a lot more repeat business to get it up to that level because, you know, where people, I guess, in the good times used to stay for 5 days, and now they're staying for maybe 3 days, or 4 days. So, you know, the holiday length of stay has reduced. So we had to go back to some of our customers who hadn't been to us for 3 or 4 years and say, hey guys, we're still here. Don't forget us. Come down. If you need a break, we'll make sure we'll look after you.
So you utilise your existing client databases in order to obtain additional repeat business from these customers?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we also we've gone out. We opened a shop in Wexford Town to promote vouchers and everything during the pre-Christmas season. We opened a unit up in Dundrum and Dublin as well pre-Christmas. So, I think you've got to go out there and remind people that you're still here, that you haven't gone anywhere. And if they are looking for a break, this is the place to come.
What else have you done from a marketing perspective that has generated new business for the hotel?
Well, we've done lots of different things. Probably too many to list here. There's a huge emphasis on marketing, like even through Twitter, Facebook, and all these new social media outlets. And believe me, they're good. But I think the key to marketing, the key to success is your internal marketing, is making sure that every one of your customers who are staying with you leave here as apostles who go out there and spread the word to say, look, we were just down in Kelly's, we had a fantastic time, you should go down there. If you're going somewhere, go down there. If you're looking for a party for your 50th wedding anniversary, all the generations will be looked after down there. So you're looking for people to go out and spread that word on an ongoing basis. So our biggest source of business is our existing customers who are leaving the hotel.
TripAdvisor, that's playing a huge influence on people's decisions to choose a hotel today, especially when they're going abroad and they're not familiar with the market.
Look, I think it's there. I guess no hotelier likes being criticised, but I think we can learn from this. We have our issues, we have our problems. We don't always get it right. We're only as good as our weakest link. And, we do have issues, and we've addressed a lot of the issues that were brought up in TripAdvisor even last year. But in general, we get a very high rating in TripAdvisor. So, it's been good to us. It's a marketing tool. Use it as a marketing tool. My only real gripe with TripAdvisor is that it's anonymous. I think it shouldn't be anonymous. It should be like the Irish Times letters, that you have to put your name and address on it. There is no reason why it should be anonymous, really. And it makes it much clearer for us as hoteliers. It gives us much more respect for the letter that's been written in, because we know for definite that person stayed. We also know what room they stayed in, and it gives us a lot more opportunity to improve the product. But I would normally write to people, and if they said, our room wasn't good or something wasn't good, I would ask them what room they stayed in. And, a lot of people do come back and they will tell you, and then you can deal with them on a one-on-one basis. But I think it's very important to communicate with that customer, be it a compliment or be it a complaint.
So you're taking a very mature approach to TripAdvisor, Bill, and you're individually responding to everyone, and you're learning from the feedback that you're receiving, which is great. The Bacon report, it stated that there has been no increase in tourism in Ireland, international tourism into Ireland, over the last 10 years. What did you learn from that particular report?
Oh, there was a lot in the Bacon report, but I think the key findings really is the number of hotel rooms has doubled in the last 10 years. And there's been no increase in overseas tourism. So, there is an issue, but that it can be looked as a problem or it can be looked as an opportunity. Now, if everybody works together in terms of driving tourism into Ireland, now we have enough beds to look after this growth in tourism. We don't have to build new product. We have it here ready to go. So it can be looked at very much as an opportunity rather than as a problem. And that's what I'd like to see. I mean, closing of the NAMA hotels and all this, it's a dream. I don't think it's ever going to happen. And that's why, of course, it can cause issue in terms of the rates they're charging, etc., which can be a lot less than other people, their neighbours. And I can understand the difficulty, and it creates difficulty for us as well. But I think long term, we've got to say, look, we've got a wonderful stock of hotel rooms, a very high quality in Ireland, probably better than anywhere else in Europe. You will not get 3-star hotels or 4-star hotels here of an equivalent quality in the UK or anywhere else across Europe. I guarantee you they're better. There's a better physical product here every time. And I think what we need to do is go out and sell that. And the first thing we need to do is look at the access. And I know there's been improvements to encourage airlines to send more people over, etc. But I think it needs to be much better. It needs to be, the effort needs to be much stronger than it is at the moment.
Bill, what have you done here in the hotel itself to reduce costs in order for you to become more competitive?
Well, we've looked at every area that we do business, every person we do business with. We've looked at if there was a possible reduction in terms of the cost of what we're paying for different items, the choice of different items we're using. But I think it's really important that we keep the quality up of the raw material up at all stages. So, cost is a factor, but it's not the be-all, end-all. I think there's also lots of auxiliary areas like energy. We moved over to wood chip, which has probably given us about a 25% annual saving in terms of our oil heating bill. We've also looked at the whole electrical savings in terms of usage of LEDs and automatic sensor lighting and various things around areas of the hotel. And we've seen about a 15% reduction in our electrical bill over the last 3 years. So each area we've looked at every department, every area individually to see where the savings could be made. And they had to be made because we're now offering the same product as we were a few years ago at a lesser price than we were charging before. So it's very hard to do that and not make savings somewhere along the line.
Bill, if you were in Leo Varadkar's position today, what would you be doing differently?
Firstly, I think he's made things happen since he's got in there. Can they do more? Yes. I mean, I think we need to review the whole setup of how Fáilte Ireland and Tourism Ireland work. For me, I think having three bodies, Northern Ireland Tourism, Tourism Ireland and Fáilte Ireland, which a lot of people probably don't know, but we have three tourism representative bodies here. And I think it sends a confused message. I think for the industry at home and for the industry overseas, I think there should be one body running the whole lot. I also think then the biggest area of concern I would have is access. We're an island. We have no bridges. We have no tunnel. We are left with Michael O'Leary and Aer Lingus. We're left with the Ryanairs, Aer Lingus, and of course sea travel, with Sealink, Stena, etc. And I think it's important that we create the appetite to drive people into Ireland, like what happened in the 80s when Ryanair started. There was an appetite to drive price down, to drive people in. I would get rid of and I can understand Leo's problem in terms of giving the airlines everything and they're not delivering. I mean, I think there has to be a delivery. But what we've seen over the last number of years is a massive reduction in the number of airlines coming in and out of this country. But what it's done is increased the occupancy of the flights that are coming in and out, and thereby increasing the prices. So there's been an increase in the price of flying into this country, somewhere between 35 and 25% over the last number of years.
So you feel the growth is in the international visitor market for Tourism Ireland to work closely with the likes of Ryanair, Aer Lingus, Stena and BNI with a view to getting more tourists into the country. Once they come here, what would you do to bring them to Wexford?
Well, that's a challenge again, isn't it? Yeah. I think the first and foremost, if we bring people into Ireland, like if the west of Ireland are having a very busy season, Wexford has a busier season. Because automatically by filling rooms in one area, you're pushing people to another area. But I think Wexford has concentrated on the home tourism market for many years. I would love to see a huge emphasis put into driving tourism from the UK. I don't think we're a destination for the French or for the Germans because they're automatically attracted by the West. But I think there's a huge market in the UK in terms of the holiday market, the resort market, also in terms of the opera festival, in terms of walking, cycling, all that. We have everything and more in this area that can be required, that's required, to get them here. I think the town itself of Wexford is probably one of the nicest physical towns in the whole of Ireland.
It's been very insightful speaking to you today, Bill. Thank you for your time and the best of luck in the future with Kelly's Resort Hotel.
You're listening to South East Radio's Business Matters with thanks to Wexford Insurances. Wexford Insurances, #1 for business insurance in County Wexford.